But I did, I don't know if you can see this or not. There you go, there's a good shot. I used some 36 grit paper, and I, 90 degrees to each other, but instead of 90, I did it at a 45 this way, 45 this way, and then horizontal, and then vertical. So there's like 4 different scratchings and etchings here to prevent the bubbles from latching on with the surface adhesion. So all of the plates in the middle, which is where the production is right here, all of the facing sides of these, both sides, are etched. So rather than going with a wire cable down in the solution, goes to hook up the positive and the negative and get it up out of the solution, and then I can run wire cables from there. Here they are separated. This one's untouched, and here it is after I've flattened it out. These, I use the hammer and just flatten these on the anvil real quickly, or cement, whatever. These I flatten out, and this too. Once that's flattened out, I put it in the vise, but $2.50 stainless steel straps, and we're good. See what happens if I connect that neutral to both and create a little bit more of a neutral plate area here. So we'll see. One quick little thing here too. When you're working with these nylon, this is 5/16 inch nylon thread, you have to be real careful with these stainless steel screws, or you will easily strip it out. And when you cut these, what I suggest doing, and what works really well, is screw a nut or two on there first, one nut, before you cut it. Usually I screw 2. I screw one nut and then the other nut beyond the next cut, and then you cut your piece, and then you unscrew the nut, and when you get to the end, work it back and forth a couple times. It's real critical. Okay, I'm all finished putting this together. But I wanted to show you, these nuts is different from others because of the thickness. See that? This is the jam nut here, J-A-M. So the reason that SMAC uses these is because they're thinner, and so they leave a better, closer spacing without being too far apart. Here's what we've got. When you put it on, you put the 2 holes on like this first, and then bring it around. Afraid I'm going to run out of show you when it's all done. Wanted to show a couple of things. Here's the tongs. They're flattened out. The neutral, you can see I've got it passing all the way through the middle there. I think that just will present maybe a nicer neutral. And then this one, I already pre-bent it so that it fits around, but then you have to straighten it up so that you can put a piece of shrink tubing. And I've tried electrical tape, but it does not work. It comes off in the caustic soda. So this shrink tubing from Home Depot works really well. Gardner Bender 430 heat shrink tubing. Actually, this one's a bigger one. This is the next size down. Yeah, but this size sure is. It's the next size down. This size fits perfectly on this bent tongs, and then you just use a heat gun, shrink that up, and then that way it's insulated when it goes onto here. And I'll show you that in just a minute. You have to be careful with this shrink tubing too, because if you put too much heat, you just blow open a hole on it. That's why I don't use matches. Use a very, very hot hairdryer or a heat gun, and it'll shrink it down. Just take your time, shrink it down. It insulates it real nice, and then just re-bend it by hand on the former nice tight bends that I had already made with my vise. And there it is. So on this, what I started to say was I wasn't sure how much space I was going to need, so I left extra. And now that I have it, what happens is, the best way to do this when I do it is you put it on. It's a little tricky, but try that out here. Anyway, set it like that and get it on those 2 first, and then bring it over and put it onto here like that. That way, then you can tighten everything down, straighten it up, tighten it down. I'm going to turn this off so I can put that last missing plate on there. So I've got the positive legs hooked up right there. It comes down, which creates a nice standoff. Up and over and into that one. The shrink tubing is all in place to keep the currents from causing problems. Piece of cable and a connector, and just put wire there, and then this one I'll probably just bend over and cut off. So the other thing I do have to do is put shrink tubing on what extends beyond the plates here, so that they don't get cross current going in between here. I put shrink tubing. I tried electrical tape on the last set and it comes right off, so shrink tubing is definitely the way to go. The other thing that I did that I'd forgotten to do, and I did it on my the outside of the two end plates, I do go ahead and etch with the 36 grit paper because of the convection currents. I don't want any bubbles sticking to the side. I want everything that can possibly go up to go up and out. So I did go ahead and etch those too before I bolted everything together.